What if no petrol? Imagine this. One morning across the entire world, every last drop of petrol is gone. No warning, no reserves, no possibility of extraction. The gas stations are empty, the pipelines are dry, and every fuel-powered machine grinds to a halt. What happens next? How does the world react to an energy crisis unlike anything seen before? At first, most people think it's just a temporary fuel shortage. Drivers stuck in traffic assume it's an issue with supply chains. But as the day unfolds, panic sets in. News stations broadcast emergency updates. Petrol reserves have vanished worldwide. This is not a local problem. Airports shut down as planes can't take off. Public transport, taxis, delivery trucks, everything that depends on petrol stops moving. People attempt to hoard the last bits of fuel, but within hours, what remains is siphoned away. Power outages begin as backup generators run dry. Emergency responders are forced to prioritize critical cases as ambulances and fire trucks become limited in mobility. Supermarkets and stores experience immediate shortages. With no fuel, supply trucks can't restock essential items. Long lines form at stores, but shelves empty fast. The price of food skyrockets. People panic buy whatever they can carry, knowing that new supplies won't arrive anytime soon. The internet explodes with conspiracy theories. Some claim this is a coordinated attack. Others believe it's a sign of the apocalypse. Governments urge people to remain calm, but behind closed doors, world leaders scramble for solutions. Martial law is declared in some countries as civil unrest and protests erupt over food shortages. Crime increases. People hijack bicycles, loot abandoned vehicles, and break into fuel storage tanks in desperation. The world feels as if it's on the brink of collapse. Hospitals struggle to keep up with patient care as medicine supplies dwindle and emergency services become unreliable. As fuel-dependent industries shut down, millions of people lose their jobs. Without gas-powered transport, food production and distribution systems fail. Farms struggle to move produce to cities, forcing local communities to rely on whatever resources are available nearby. Electric vehicles become gold. Those lucky enough to own one still have some mobility, but charging stations can't handle the surge in demand. New modes of transport emerge. Bicycles, horses, and even old-school carriages make a comeback. Global economies crumble. Stock markets crash as major industries, airlines, logistics, and manufacturing grind to a halt. Governments start rationing electricity, focusing power on essential services like hospitals and water treatment plants. Meanwhile, the military begins implementing fuel reserves strictly for national defense and essential governmental operations. By now, people have adapted, but life is permanently changed. Cities reorganize around walking and cycling, with governments building infrastructure for non-fuel transport. Old technologies make a comeback. Steam engines, solar power, and wind-driven transport become the new normal. The demand for alternative energy sources skyrockets, leading to a rapid acceleration in the development of renewable energy technologies. Some countries embrace nuclear energy and electric transport, while others struggle in the chaos. Urban farming expands, and barter systems replace money in many places. Society regresses in some ways, but advances in others, a balance between survival and innovation. The value of locally sourced goods and materials rises as the global supply chain remains broken. Without cars, social structures change. People live closer to work, creating self-sufficient communities where food, water, and shelter must be locally sustained. Traditional skills such as farming, blacksmithing, and handcrafting become vital for survival, making those who possess them highly valued in the new world. The reliance on technology shifts, with local craftsmanship and manual labor becoming critical for sustaining life. As a decade passes, countries that had prepared for such a crisis emerge as the new global superpowers. Those who adapted quickly to sustainable and alternative energy dominate world trade and politics. Meanwhile, oil-dependent nations remain in a prolonged state of collapse, struggling to recover from the economic disaster. New megacities arise designed for sustainability and human-powered transportation. Roads once filled with gas-guzzling vehicles become lanes for bicycles and solar-powered buses. Governments invest heavily in public transportation systems, and personal vehicle ownership becomes a relic of the past. In rural areas, communities thrive off localized agriculture. Farmers, once underappreciated, become essential in rebuilding food supplies for populations that can no longer rely on imported goods. Entire new economies form around self-sufficient living, reducing the impact of globalization. Conflict erupts over the remaining reserves of crude oil, leading to new geopolitical tensions. Some nations resort to extreme measures to reclaim whatever resources are left, while others push for treaties that accelerate innovation in energy sustainability. Wars are no longer fought over land, but over control of alternative energy technologies. In the long term, the world stabilizes. A new global order forms based on renewable energy and localized economies. Those who adapted fast became the new leaders. Entire industries have shifted away from fossil fuels, accelerating innovation in clean energy. Governments invest heavily in high-speed electric rail systems and alternative power sources like hydrogen fuel and biofuels. With fossil fuels gone, society becomes more aware of resource conservation. Cities become greener, pollution decreases, and the world experiences an unexpected environmental recovery. The skies clear, the air becomes cleaner, and wildlife flourishes in once heavily industrialized zones. However, some regions never recover. Rural areas, without access to alternative energy, remain isolated, while nations dependent on oil exports collapse into economic ruin. Political tensions escalate over remaining energy sources, leading to new alliances and conflicts over renewable resources. The world will never forget the day petrol disappeared, a reminder that nothing, no resource, no power lasts forever. What seemed like the end turned into a rebirth, a world reshaped, not by destruction, but by adaptation. The age of petrol is over, but the story of humanity continues. And then one day, something unexpected happens. A breakthrough in energy storage and production emerges, a form of technology once thought impossible, clean, infinite, and accessible. Scientists announce the discovery of a revolutionary power source, something that will change life as we know it, a new chapter for civilization. But is the world ready for it? Will history repeat itself with the same cycle of dependence and depletion, or has humanity finally learned from its past? The next era begins, and with it the question lingers. If we survive the fall of petrol, can we handle what comes next? Would you survive in a world without petrol? Tell us in the comments. Like and subscribe for more what-if scenarios.